everybody, it's Lisa. I am sweltering on a Sunday afternoon in Eureka. It's been about 82 this afternoon, which is very hot for here. I'm doing my presentation on the DSM manual, mostly the DSM-5 since it's the new one that's out and it's pretty controversial, but also on just the DSM in general. How to use the not how to use the manual, but how people feel about using the manual and things like that. I actually have not known about the DSM manual very long. I learned about it in 1999 when I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and so in receiving a diagnosis like that when I did not understand that anyone else in my family had suffered from mental illness, um, I was very interested in learning about how somebody was diagnosed, what symptoms were, what made psychiatrists be able to diagnose. So I read quite a few books and actually got my undergrad in psychology. And in part of my undergrad studies, I read parts of the DSM-4 TR, which was a very interesting manual. Unfortunately, none of it can be read like a cookbook. They say either the DSM-5 cannot either, so it's not like you have this, 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 and this, you are this diagnosis. So it's kind of interesting. In 1952, the first DSM manual was put into existence. It was supposedly because the U.S. military wanted a way to diagnose their servicemen. We're at the sixth revision, and this is the DSM-5 that came out in May. And right now, there are 365 disorders listed in the book. There has been much controversy over the new manual. The DSM-5 did away with using the Access diagnosis criteria that the 3, 4, and 4TR had, and that makes it more difficult to diagnose somebody in pinpointed. So instead, it gives many more diagnoses. The spectrum disorder, kind of like autism. Most of us are familiar with the autism spectrum, where anybody can be autistic if they have anywhere from Asperger's to severe autism, and there's many different places in between where they can be on the scale. So the DSM-5 has a lot of controversy over taking away the Access. I've heard a couple of articles that were talking about even the insurance companies are a little wary of the new diagnoses because you know, it's like you can have bipolar light instead of, you know, I'm going to do it in so you can see it, bipolar light, instead of just having bipolar 1, bipolar 2. It's on a spectrum now, and so that's kind of interesting. My resources on the page that you'll see below are, I got some really great information from the APA and psychiatry.org. They are both very reliable sources that have, the APA is actually the people that put the book out, and psychiatry.org has some information about some facts and some different stuff that is very interesting to read. I have not actually gotten my hands on a copy yet. I'm still waiting to see if I can get one for under $135 off Amazon, and a friend of mine says she's got one coming in the mail, so I'm going to wait and see if I can use hers. I've also put a 5-part series of YouTube videos on the site that has that's about the controversy over why the new DSM manual has so many people in an uproar, and why so many doctors are having issues with the new manual. There's a PBS newscast about the manual. It's got two doctors on it that are very knowledgeable. One's a practicing psychologist, and then one is one of the psychiatrists that were part of the making of the manual. And they both have some really interesting things to say. And one of the things that the doctor said is that it's not like hard and fast, that they expect revisions to this manual. And then last but not least, I put a YouTube video of a young lady who is suffering from bipolar disorder and how she feels that the DSM manual has affected her diagnosis and her recovery from her disorder. It's very interesting because she's a layman. She's suffering from a chronic symptom of bipolar disorder, and just seeing how she feels about it is very interesting. It's kind of eye-opening, and I thought as social workers, knowing about the DSM manual, knowing a little bit about what causes our clients to have a diagnosis is extremely important to our social work. If, say, we're in the community helping at a food bank or, you know, something like that, or at a hospital, and somebody comes in with a diagnosis of schizophrenia, and we need to know what symptoms make up schizophrenia. We need to know where on the spectrum they are. We need to know, are they, you know, is it a hallucination problem, or is it just a manic episode? What we need to know which diagnosis means what. So I thought that was really interesting. That would be really interesting for a social worker to know. And then our question for the discussion will be, how do you feel about the DSM manual in general? I know a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about it, and I'd like to hear the opinions after you read or you see the 5-part controversy YouTube videos. So I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow night, and I hope more of us get on the video feed for the class, and so I can see your lovely faces. And I urge everybody to come join us on Wednesday nights at 7. Peter and I are getting lonely. It's just me, Candy, and Peter, and we are getting lonely. So come join us, 7 o'clock in the study room on Wednesdays. Talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.